What is up, y'all? What is up? It is your girl, EJ, the TV Junkie, and baby, Divorce Sisters episode 2 was giving scandal, side eyes, and surprise visits from ex-lovers. Like, I don't know who needs to hear this, but if the button's still on it, that don't mean it's clean, Vaughn. Let's get into it because, child, this episode had everything, and I do mean everything.
Thought I had forever when I said I do. Now I'm sitting here wondering what I'm supposed to do. Said you'd never leave, now I sleep on one side. We cry together, we try together, even when our hearts are broke.
Okay, y'all, so first of all, this episode starts right where the last one left off, and that's with Little Miss Church Hopping scandal, y'all. She dropped that bomb about sleeping with the pastor and begging for the First Lady's forgiveness. But y'all, your girl Rashidita was like calm, like super calm, like saintly calm, like got the patience of Job calm out here. Because y'all know, most people would have been doing the absolute most. Like, it probably would have been a fight in there. But we knew that it had to be something, because when I tell you that Rashidita was just like, I forgive you, I was like, girl, you better than most. But it turns out Rashidita had a plan, because she walked Little Miss Messy straight into Pastor Jeff's office and bam, hit her with the camera footage. Rashidita had cameras installed all up in the church and the offices, okay? Yes, that part, her idea, because she said she wouldn't let no foolishness take down the house of the Lord of her marriage, period. Because honestly, Pastor Jeff should be lucky enough to even share the same air as this woman, because she be watching out for him, looking out for him, for real, for real. So anyway, y'all, we gotta slide on over to Geneva, because she had like this little blast from the past pop up on her. His name was Vaughn, and when I say blast, I mean potential baby daddy, okay? This is the man she had an affair with 6 years ago, and if we doing the math, her daughter is 5, and I'm not saying, I'm just saying, okay? Y'all let me know what y'all think. Anyway, y'all, Javon come in there talking about he ain't married anymore and wants to pick up right where they left off. At least that's the illusion that he gives, that he wants to pick up right where they left off. But I'm like, sir, this is not a reboot. Geneva's still married, and even if she out here projecting all this cheating energy onto William, the guilt is eating her up, y'all. Like, you can literally see it. So anyway, y'all, we got Tiffany pulling up to Naomi's to check in, but not before Rashida hit her up on some girl have you heard from Geneva energy. And of course, Naomi's nosy self been eavesdropping the whole time. I got a mic, boo, I heard it all. And I'm just like, Naomi just do the most, y'all. But anyway, the convo actually gets real between Tiffany and Naomi, and we learned that Tiffany's trying to move on. Naomi is still stuck in the past, you know, she's still stuck in that same place. But Naomi said what she said. She said her divorce ain't your divorce, and that part really, really made me lean into it, you know, because when we really think about it, there are some more extenuating circumstances to it. But I did also like the fact that we got to learn that Tiffany actually is paying alimony to her ex-husband, whereas Naomi received $37 million from her ex-husband. But at the end of the day, Franklin might just be taunting her on purpose because he knows her, and Naomi is actually spiraling out of control, and I don't think there's anything that anybody can say that's really gonna get through to her at this moment. So anyway, y'all, now we over at Rashida's. Geneva out here projecting, y'all, like for real. She really thinks that William is cheating, and I'm not saying that he's not, I'm just saying what she thinks, but she thinks that he's cheating because I think the guilt is really eating at her soul. Like, I think we know now that she had that one night stand with Javon, and let's be real, chemistry ain't dead. Rashida peeped that energy too. Like, those two really felt like they had some kind of, like, you know, like a burning fire or something. But them kids, y'all, them kids of Rashida's is just rude. Like, I'm sorry, y'all, but you gotta go do something with these doggone teenagers. I can't do it. They just doing too much. So anyway, y'all, we gotta get over here to Bridget, because Bridget got this call from this guy by the name of Calvin, and he's like, yeah, he quit. And it turns out her man, Vaughn, who she helped get this job, he quit the job, and oh boy was not feeling this. And then Vaughn gonna have the nerve to come in there and tell you, talking about you talk to him, he tell you, and he's like, I quit. And then he's gonna tell her, I'm a creative. And I'm like, sir, Not with that old crusty catering tux that you about to pull out. I just can't. And then he asked her to steam it, y'all. I'm just like, this just don't make any sense. It just is what it is. And then he tried to shoot his shot after, y'all. Like, the audacity is on 1,000. Like, sir, you quit your job. You want to go to the banquet with her with this crusty tux on that you done recycled from the doggone catering gig or whatever it is. It's been in the damn hamper. It's not clean. You talk about you didn't sweat that much in it. You want her to steam clean it, but you also want her to come jump in the shower. I can't. He doing too much, y'all. Too much. So anyway, y'all, it really does feel like Kelvin with the this ain't none of my business stuff. It felt like he was about to go right into her business. And I loved how Bridget was like, don't at me. He said, you need a grown man. And I feel like he was telling her he needed him, because I feel like this is another one that wants to be with this woman, but he ain't said what he needed to say, or maybe he have. It's a lot of stuff we gotta find out, y'all. So anyway, y'all, we back at Naomi's now, and she is like doom scrolling, I'm like, girl, you act like you are the police or somebody, like an FBI agent, just scrolling through here trying to find all the evidence. Oh my God. And her glam squad had to let her know, like, girl, you are tripping. And yeah, she is, but is she wrong, y'all? Like, seriously. The shade Franklin threw in that message when he said nothing better than my second wife's happiness except getting what you're owed from your first. Like, sir, come on now. Naomi might be petty, y'all, but Franklin is calculated, and I feel like Franklin is doing this on purpose because he knows her. He knows what she's gonna do. Like, we gotta have a whole talk about that. We'll talk about that later. So anyway, y'all, let's slide on back to Rashida and Jeff, because Jeff just works my last nerve. Like, the disrespect of him, the way that he was in there on that phone. Rashida came in there, he closed the door, and then she opened the door, and then he said, yeah, that's her. I'll hit you back up, peace. Like, what are you doing, sir? Like, what are you doing? Like, I don't want to be giving Jeff the side eye, like thinking that he ain't out here actually cheating. But the thing is, like, what are you doing? Why are you treating her like this? Like, this woman is a good woman to you. She really holds you down. I need him to do better, y'all. Like, I just want to climb through the TV and strangle the hell out of Jeff. I can't stand him. For real. But anyway, y'all, they have an argument, and the kids come in there talking about y'all act one way at church, and then when y'all get here, y'all act another way. First of all, y'all are kids, and not taking up for Jeff or anything else, but just for the simple fact of just marriage in general. Marriage is hard work. It is a process. And when you've been married to somebody for a long time, these people have been married for 20 years. There are going to be times where these people just absolutely don't like each other. They're going to go through that phase where they don't. They're going to love each other, but they might not like each other. And that is still not to say that Jeff ain't doing nothing. I'm just saying that married people go through things, and I feel like these teenagers need to stay out of grown folks' business. It is what it is. Like, yes, but they haven't had no life experiences yet, so they don't understand that. So anyway, after all that, Rashida wants to have a talk, and then Jeff talk about, now we got to get dressed. He don't want to have the talk. Something ain't right with Jeff, y'all. I ain't put my finger on it just yet, but I'm telling y'all, something ain't right with him. So anyway, y'all, we got to maneuver on over to Geneva and William's house, okay? Because let me tell you something. William is trying to be this good guy this episode, right? After he comes in and he's the great father too, by the way. He comes in, he picks up baby girl Anika and all that type of stuff, and she say she miss him and his fun when he do the drop-offs and the pickups, after all of that, and he have the conversation with his wife, and he try to get her to go take a shower with him. Didn't nobody want to take a shower with nobody. Like, it was people offering, but it wasn't nobody picking up on none of that stuff. They was like, no. But anyway, he actually he's actually dressed, and they're getting ready to leave, and he done invited a friend over, y'all, and lo and behold, he done invited old Vaughn over. Not Vaughn, Javon. Gotta get these names mixed up. He done invited old Javon over, which happens to be a friend of theirs, which happens to be Geneva's old lover and all of that stuff. And I'm just like, goodness gracious. This is gonna be a lot, y'all. So it was a lot of tension there. It was just a lot going on. And he was insistent on him meeting Anika. And then he was like, Anika? And then she was like, it means graceful. And it turns out he really likes that name. And you can tell at that moment that she done named this baby a name that maybe he said he was gonna name his kid. I don't know. Because William was the one, he was like, yeah, I wanted to name her after my mom, but I lost that battle like that. And I'm just like, And then when he say she's beautiful, and then he says at the end, she looks like she has her dad's eyes, I was like, oh crap. And all Geneva is doing is saying, thank you. And then he's like, is she my baby? And I was like, mic drop. And damn it, another cliffhanger. So anyway, y'all, boom, just like that. That is this week's episode. But listen, I already know that we got more questions than answers, and the drama is just heating up. So don't forget that Friday night is our live after show with your girl, Tika Deshawn, and I. We will be having our friends come through, and we'll be talking about divorced sisters. So definitely pull up, drop your theories, and let's get into these characters, because this mess is messy, and you know, we love it here. So guys, go ahead and hit that like button, drop a comment with your favorite part, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I will talk to you guys later. Peace.
The TV junk, turn it on, tune in, don't